When my wife stopped wearing her ring, she said it was just a phase. I hired a private investigator. The report showed them vacationing in the same hotel we honeymooned in. I booked the same suite next door. On their last night, I slid a USB under their door. She played it. Her face froze. He asked, "Is that your husband?" She said, "It's worse. That's his lawyer." I knocked once, then walked away as she ran after me screaming. I'm Nate. I'm 42. I live in Lubbock, Texas. Been married for 17 years. 2 kids, Jen is 14 and Max just turned 11. I work in regional sales for an agricultural equipment company. Nothing glamorous. But I make good money. I've worked hard. Long hours, long drives. Build a solid life. My wife, Rachel, teaches elementary school. We met back in college. She was the fun one. Everyone loved her laugh. I used to too. We got married young. We didn't have much, but we had each other. We honeymooned in Big Sur. Stayed in a little suite at a cliffside hotel with a view of the ocean. That place meant something to me. Hell, I cried when we left. I was 25 and already dreaming of taking her back there for our 20th anniversary. Things change. I noticed it in the little things first. Like her smile. It stopped reaching her eyes. She stopped asking about my day. Stopped texting me back quickly. Started getting more busy. Suddenly had yoga on Saturdays, wine nights on Thursdays, and schoolwork every other night in between. I let it slide for a while. You don't want to jump to conclusions. Life's stressful. Teaching's not easy. But it got to me when she stopped wearing her wedding ring. She used to always wear it. Even to sleep. Even when we went swimming. One day, I looked over at her while we were eating breakfast, and it was just gone. I waited a few days before asking. I didn't want to seem paranoid. "Hey," I said. "Where's your ring?" She didn't even look up. Just kept eating her toast. "Oh, it's just a phase. Feels tight lately. I've gained weight." That was a lie. I knew her body. She hadn't gained an ounce. After that, I started paying attention. The perfume. The new underwear I never saw her wear for me. The sudden fitness obsession. She joined a Pilates studio and started going to the gym 5 times a week, but somehow came home with perfect makeup and no sweat. I knew. Deep down, I knew. The moment that broke me was a Thursday night. She was grading papers in the living room. I walked past and saw her phone light up. I caught a glimpse of the name. Just the letter J. No photo. Just, "Can't wait to see you again." She smiled when she read it. That smile wasn't for me. She went to the kitchen. I grabbed her phone. No passcode. The texts were gone. But she'd missed one. "I can't wait for Big Sur. You have no idea how badly I need this." Big Sur. That wasn't a normal vacation. That was our place. The place I proposed. The place we made promises. And she was taking him there. That was when something inside me changed. It was like a switch flipped. I wasn't sad. I was cold. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I got smart. The next morning, I called a private investigator. Guy named Dean. Old school type. Wore suspenders and still used a flip phone. He said, "Give me 2 weeks. Longest damn 2 weeks of my life." I slept on the couch some nights. Pretended I was having back problems. She didn't care. Dean emailed me the report on a Monday morning. I opened it in my truck outside work. I don't even know how long I sat there. Photos. Dozens of them. Her and Jay. Holding hands. Kissing. Laughing like teenagers. Eating at restaurants in Dallas, Fort Worth, even Amarillo. But the last photo. They were checking into the Ventana Inn in Big Sur. The same room number we had. Same view. Same goddamn everything. She didn't even bother to change it. That's when I called Ron, my lawyer. He's a beast. Doesn't smile. Doesn't joke. Just asks questions and takes notes like he's building a war plan. I told him I wanted full custody. No spousal support. And that I had proof. He told me we needed more. More evidence. Solid stuff. So I made a plan. I booked the suite next to theirs. Same dates. Same hotel. I told work I needed emergency leave. They didn't ask. I think I looked like hell. When I got there, 2 days before they checked in, I brought gear. Tiny cameras. Wireless mics. Legal in California if I'm in the room. I wasn't recording them inside their suite. I'm not stupid. I set it up on the shared balcony wall. Every word they said out there, I got it. They joked about me. Called me predictable. She said I was emotionally dense. But the worst part? She laughed when he asked, "Does he suspect anything?" "No," she said. He still thinks I'm just stressed from work. He kissed her neck. She giggled like a teenager. I didn't sleep that night. Their last night, I compiled the audio clips and some pictures into a video. Added a message from my lawyer explaining what we'd be filing, what she'd lose, and how I wasn't just walking away quietly. I put it all on a USB stick. At 9:03 p.m., I walked to their door and slid it underneath. Then I waited. I stood just around the corner, out of sight. A few minutes later, I heard her voice. What is this? Him. Probably some promo or USB ad. Then silence. Then I heard the click of the TV volume dropping. Then my lawyer's voice. By cheating and vacating the marital home without cause. Then came their own voices. Clear as day. Her. He'll never know. Him. He sounds pathetic. Her. He's a walking paycheck. Then the pause. He asked, is that your husband? She said something I'll never forget. No. It's worse. That's his lawyer. I stepped forward. Knocked once. The door flung open. She was barefoot, crying, holding the USB like it burned her hand. Nate, wait, please. I can explain. I didn't stop. She followed me into the hallway, sobbing, screaming. Said it was a mistake. Said it didn't mean anything. Said it was just a phase. I didn't look back. I walked out, got in my rental, drove to a friend's place an hour south. And that was just the first shot. I didn't go home right away after Big Sur. I needed time to think, to breathe, to stop myself from doing something I'd regret. I stayed with an old college friend, Mark, down in Paso Robles. We hadn't talked in years, but I called him out of the blue, and he told me to come stay as long as I needed. Didn't ask questions. Just handed me a beer when I showed up and said, talk when you're ready. That first night, I didn't say much. But the next day, I started talking. Told him everything. He didn't say, I'm sorry. He didn't say, that sucks. He just said, so what's your move? I didn't know yet. But when I checked my phone, I had 23 missed calls from Rachel. 6 voicemails. Text ranging from, I'm sorry, to you ruined everything to we need to talk for the kids. Then came the call from my lawyer. She filed first, Ron said. Petition for joint custody. She's claiming emotional abandonment. I almost laughed. She's lying, I said. Of course she is. But this is a game of evidence and leverage, not truth. I met with Ron the next day. We filed our own paperwork. Full custody. Cited adultery. Included pictures, audio, dates, hotel receipts, witness statements from the PI. Everything. She wasn't expecting me to fight. She thought I'd roll over. When she got served, she showed up at my office that afternoon. My receptionist buzzed me. There's a woman here, crying. I came out to the lobby. She was sitting in one of the chairs, makeup smeared, hair a mess. Can we talk? She asked. I looked around. People were staring. No, I said. You need to leave. She stood up, tried to touch my arm. Please. Just 5 minutes. I shook my head. No more lies, Rachel. Talk to my lawyer. That night, she sent me a long email. Said she'd made a mistake. Said it started as harmless flirting with a teacher at her school. Said she never planned to leave. That he meant nothing. That it was the stress. That I hadn't been paying attention. That she was lonely. It ended with, can we fix this? For the kids. I didn't reply. The next day, I met with the kids. I didn't tell them everything. Just enough to let them know things were changing. Jenna cried. Max just looked confused. Then came the twist I didn't expect. 2 days later, Rachel's new boyfriend, Jason, showed up at my door. I opened it, ready to punch him. But he looked terrified. I need to talk, he said. Please. I let him in. He sat on my couch, hands shaking. She told me she was leaving you. Said it was over. Said you were abusive, controlling. I stared at him. Do I look abusive to you? He shook his head. No. That's why I'm here. He pulled out his phone. I didn't know you had kids. She never mentioned them. She told me you were just roommates. That it was a dead marriage. Then he showed me texts. From her. All lies. She had made me into a monster. Claimed I was cheating. Said I hit her. Said she was scared for her life. I swear, man, Jason said. I didn't know. I ended it yesterday. That was something I hadn't planned on. Her turning on both of us. She's not who I thought she was, he said. I nodded. Yeah. Welcome to the club. I asked if he'd be willing to testify. He said yes. So now I had a witness. A damn good one. Rachel didn't expect him to flip. When she found out, she lost it. Showed up at the school crying. Had to be escorted out. Tried to call CPS on me. Said I was neglecting the kids. They did a wellness check. Saw a clean house, happy kids, stocked fridge, report cards on the fridge. The agent apologized on the way out. But Rachel kept pushing. She started texting Jenna late at night, saying I was turning her against her. She told Max I was trying to take them away forever. She started playing the victim. So I filed for emergency custody. The judge granted it. Said Rachel was unstable, influencing the kids, using them as pawns. She got supervised visits. Twice a week. She tried to act sorry again. Wrote letters. Left voicemails. Sent flowers. But it was all for show. She never apologized for the lies. For the hotel. For taking that man to our suite. She just kept saying, I made a mistake. Can we fix it? No, Rachel. We can't. This isn't just about you cheating. This is about you lying, gaslighting, manipulating the kids, turning into someone I don't recognize. I was done trying to fix it. But I wasn't done getting justice. The court was starting to see Rachel for who she really was. But I still didn't trust the system. Courts can be slow. They want to believe both parents matter. That both sides have something worth saving. And usually, that's true. But not this time. Rachel wasn't just toxic, she was dangerous. After I got emergency custody, things got quieter for a bit. She stopped showing up unannounced. She stuck to the supervised visits, at least on paper. But then Jenna started coming home with weird stories. She asked me if you were dating someone. She told Max you never wanted him in the first place. She said you're trying to erase her from our lives. That was it. I started documenting everything. I bought a notebook and logged every interaction. Every visit, every call, every weird message she sent the kids. I even installed a camera at the front door. I wasn't going to let her twist the truth again. Then I got a call from the school. Mr. Barnes? We need to talk about Rachel. She had shown up during lunch recess. Unscheduled. She asked to speak with Jenna outside. Told the staff she was there to drop off homework she forgot. But she had nothing in her hands. She cornered Jenna near the fence and told her that she was planning to fix everything. Said I was keeping them hostage. Said she was going to take them back. Security got involved. They called the police. That afternoon, I filed a restraining order. It was granted. She wasn't allowed near the school. Not within 500 feet of our home. Not allowed to contact the kids without court supervision. Her lawyer tried to argue emotional distress. That Rachel was acting out of heartbreak. That it wasn't dangerous, just desperate. My lawyer laughed. Desperate is when you cry. This is manipulation. We were scheduled for a final custody hearing in 2 months. I thought she might back down, accept reality. But instead, she went further. One night around 1 a.m., my doorbell rang. I checked the camera. It was her. Standing there barefoot again, just like that night in Big Sur. This time crying harder. She had something in her hand, a photo album. I didn't open the door. She screamed, loud enough to wake up Max. I know you can hear me, Nate. I raised them. I loved you. I turned on the porch light and stepped into view of the camera, but didn't say a word. She yelled, You think you've won? You think this is over? That was all I needed. Another violation. More evidence. The next morning, I filed to amend the restraining order again. This time, the judge added a provision banning all nighttime contact, even at a distance. Then came the twist I never saw coming. Jason, the guy she cheated with, called again. Said he'd been served with a paternity petition. Rachel was claiming she was pregnant. Said it was his. Wanted support. But here's the thing, he'd had a vasectomy years ago. He told her that when they started seeing each other. He sent me screenshots of the messages. She was trying to pin the baby on him. But he said, It's not mine, man. I can prove it. I already scheduled a DNA test. She's lying to both of us. I didn't even know she was pregnant. I hadn't touched her in months before Big Sur. So I made a quiet move. I had my lawyer subpoena her medical records. What we found shocked even him. She had checked into a private women's clinic the day after I filed for full custody. She wasn't pregnant. She'd never been pregnant. She faked it. She faked it to trap Jason. To make herself look like a mother starting over. To somehow paint herself as the victim, the woman abandoned while carrying life. It was all fiction. We added it to our case file. At that point, even the judge started to show it in her face, disgust. But Rachel still wasn't done. A week before the custody hearing, I came home from work and found my kitchen door wide open. Nothing was missing, but someone had been inside. I checked the camera. Nothing. Then I remembered the back window in the laundry room. I went in there and found it cracked open, barely noticeable. I called the police. They found faint fingerprints. Not enough to confirm, but the message was clear. She wasn't letting go. I moved the kids to a rental house temporarily, changed their schools, hired a private security service to monitor the property, put every financial account under protection. She wasn't just desperate. She was spiraling. And I wasn't going to wait for her to hit bottom before protecting my family. This wasn't over. She wanted a war. She was going to get one. The final custody hearing came on a gray Thursday in March. I barely slept the night before. The kids were nervous too, even though I'd done my best to keep them out of the storm. Rachel walked into the courtroom like she was walking into a wedding. Clean dress, hair curled. She smiled at me like nothing had happened. Like we were two people working through a normal divorce. I didn't smile back. The judge didn't waste time. First, the court officer read a list of Rachel's violations: restraining order breaches, unscheduled school visits, emotional manipulation of the kids, attempted false paternity claim, and trespassing. She didn't even flinch. Then my lawyer brought up Jason. He walked in with printed messages, the vasectomy records, and the negative DNA test. The judge asked if Rachel had anything to say. She tried crying, said she was under stress, said she just wanted love. The judge didn't buy it. Then came the video, the one from Big Sur. My lawyer played it. All of it. Her words, her laughter, her voice saying, "He's a paycheck. He'll never know." Rachel stared at the table. The judge leaned forward. "Miss Barnes, do you still wish to pursue joint custody?" Rachel looked up. Her eyes were red, but she didn't cry. "I just want my family back." The judge sighed. "You had a family. You chose to destroy it." Final ruling. I was granted full custody. She'd have supervised visits twice a month at a neutral center. No overnights. No unmonitored contact. She was also ordered to pay a small amount in child support based on her income. She lost everything. After court, I didn't celebrate. I just walked out. The kids were with my sister that day. I picked them up, took them to a diner, and we had burgers. We didn't talk about the hearing. We just sat, ate, and laughed a little. But I wasn't done yet. There was one more thing I needed to do. I took the photo album she'd brought that night to my door, the one I hadn't touched. I opened it for the first time. It was filled with pictures from our honeymoon, our wedding, the kids when they were babies. And near the back, a note written in her handwriting. "If this ends badly, I'm sorry. I did love you. I just forgot how to." I stared at it for a long time, and then I wrote her back. I didn't send it, but I wrote it. "Rachel, you broke more than just trust. You broke the version of me that believed in us. You didn't just cheat. You rewrote history to make yourself feel better. Lied to me. Lied to him. Lied to her kids. But here's the truth. I wasn't perfect. I worked too much. I forgot how to be present. I let you drift. That part's on me. But you? You didn't just drift. You jumped ship, lit a match, and watched from shore. I saved what I could. Goodbye." I folded the letter, put it in the last page of the album, locked it in a drawer. 2 weeks later, Rachel moved out of town. She said she needed a fresh start. New job, new city. She still saw the kids on her assigned days, but she stopped trying to get more. She knew the fight was over. It wasn't a clean win. There were scars. For me, for the kids, for everyone. But I walked away with what mattered. And I made sure she'd never forget what it cost to burn a good man. That was her phase. Mine was forever.